Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the first game of tonight's NBA slate. As we usher in 2025, we're heading to the nation's capital where the Chicago Bulls take on the Washington Wizards. Let's dive right into the matchup. The Bulls come into this one riding high on a two-game winning streak, including a gutsy overtime victory against the Hornets on Monday night. Chicago's offensive firepower has been on full display, ranking 7th in the league in scoring at 117.5 points per game. They're also one of the top teams from beyond the arc, knocking down a remarkable 16.5 three-pointers per contest. However, defense has been their Achilles heel. Sitting at 29th in scoring defense, the Bulls allow a concerning 121 points per game. Tonight, they may once again be without Zach LaVine, who's questionable with a toe injury, and Ayo Dosunmu, who's sidelined with a calf strain. Even so, players like Kobe White, who's coming off a near triple-double, and Nikola Vucevic will need to carry the load. On the other side, the Wizards have had a tough season, currently sitting at 5-25 and dead last in the Southeast Division. Their defensive woes are even worse than Chicago's, allowing a league-worst 122.4 points per game. Offensively, Washington has struggled to find consistency, with Jordan Poole's status in question due to a hip injury and Carlton Carrington also listed as questionable after exiting Monday's game. The Wizards are winless in 14 games against teams from the Atlantic and Central Divisions this season. With a depleted roster and no clear answers on the defensive end, they're up against a Bulls squad that has the offensive firepower to exploit their weaknesses. So, the big question is, can the Bulls capitalize on Washington's struggles, or will the Wizards surprise us with a rare home victory? Let's get to the moment you've been waiting for. And today's AI pick is Chicago Bulls minus 4.5. The Bulls' recent form and superior scoring ability make them the clear choice here. Even with potential absences, Chicago has the depth and momentum to handle Washington on the road. Remember, it's all about finding the edge, and tonight, the numbers point to Chicago. That's all for Game 1. Let's hand it off to our next presenter for Game 2. Stay tuned.
Greetings, basketball enthusiasts. Tonight, we travel to the Motor City for Game 2, where the Orlando Magic face the Detroit Pistons. Let's delve into the details. The Magic enter this matchup coming off a nail-biting 102-101 victory over the Nets. Orlando's resilience shone as they rallied from a 21-point deficit midway through the third quarter. Cole Anthony's clutch floater with just over a second left sealed the win. However, the Magic's offense remains a challenge. They're last in the league, averaging just 105.9 points per game, and their three-point shooting ranks 30th at a dismal 30.8%. Injuries to key players, including Paolo Banchero, Franz Wagner, and Mo Wagner, have left Orlando shorthanded, and Anthony Black's status is questionable. Defensively, Orlando stands tall, ranked second in the league by allowing just 103.5 points per game. But with their offensive struggles and missing firepower, they'll need a nearly flawless performance to keep pace with Detroit. On the other hand, the Pistons are looking to rebound after a tough loss to Denver. Detroit's third-quarter collapse against the Nuggets exposed defensive vulnerabilities, but this team has shown flashes of potential, with Cade Cunningham leading the charge, averaging 24 points, 6.7 rebounds, and 9.7 assists per game. Detroit has a balanced offensive attack, ranking 16th in scoring at 112.2 points per contest. The Pistons' injury report is clear, a rarity at this point in the season. Their depth and health give them a distinct advantage over the injury-plagued Magic. Detroit's ability to exploit Orlando's depleted lineup, combined with their offensive versatility, puts them in a prime position tonight. And today's AI pick is Detroit Pistons 1.5. With a healthy roster and home court advantage, the Pistons have the edge to prevail against a Magic squad struggling to find consistency. This should be an exciting matchup, but the numbers favor Detroit. That wraps up Game 2. Let's keep the momentum going as we head to our next game. Stay tuned.
Well, my friends. It's time to head to the bright lights of Madison Square Garden for Game 3, where the Utah Jazz take on the surging New York Knicks. Let's break it down. The Knicks are flying high, winning 9 of their last 10 games, including a commanding 20-point victory over the Wizards in their previous outing. With a 23-10 record, they're looking like a team to beat in the East. Offensively, New York is elite, ranking 5th in scoring at 117.9 points per game, and 3rd in shooting at 49.7%. Defensively they're no slouch either, allowing just 109.9 points per game, good for 8th in the league. Jalen Brunson has been stellar, averaging 25.2 points and 7.7 assists per game. Add to that Karl Anthony Towns' dominance in the paint, with 24.7 points and 13.5 rebounds, and the Knicks have a formidable duo. With no major injuries to report, they're at full strength tonight. On the other side, we have the Jazz, who've hit a rough patch, dropping 4 straight and sitting at 7-24 on the season. Their defense has been a glaring issue, ranking dead last in the league with a defensive rating that leaves much to be desired. Utah allows 119.8 points per game, the 28th worst mark in the NBA. Offensively, Utah has made strides, with Lauri Markkanen leading the way at 19.6 points per game. John Collins and Colin Sexton provide additional support, averaging 17.7 and 17.4 points respectively. But with Collins listed as day-to-day with a hip injury, the Jazz will need a total team effort to keep this one competitive. Now, let's cut to the chase. The Knicks are heavy favorites, but tonight's AI pick is Utah Jazz, plus 14.5. While the Knicks are undeniably the better team, a 14.5-point spread is no small margin. The Jazz, despite their struggles, have shown they can keep games close, and they've covered the spread in 5 of their last 6 outings before their Denver loss. It's a big ask, but the Jazz have a history of performing better than expected in these spots. So there you have it. The AI likes Utah to cover the spread. Stick around as we gear up for Game 4. You won't want to miss it.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's head to the Toyota Center for Game 4 of tonight's NBA slate. The Dallas Mavericks take on the Houston Rockets in what promises to be an intriguing Western Conference battle. Let's dive into the details. The Mavericks are coming off a tough 110-100 road loss to the Sacramento Kings. Missing key players like Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving, and Klay Thompson, Dallas struggled to generate offense despite big performances from Spencer Dinwiddie, who dropped 30 points, and P.J. Washington, who added 28. The Mavericks started strong, leading by 18 in the first quarter, but they couldn't sustain it, with Sacramento outscoring them in key stretches to seal the game. The absence of Doncic, out for at least a month with a calf strain, leaves a massive hole in Dallas' offensive production. Combined with other injuries and suspensions, the Mavericks' depth will be put to the test once again tonight. Now let's look at the Rockets. Houston's last game was a chippy one, resulting in multiple ejections, including Jalen Green after a hard-fought 104-100 loss to the Miami Heat. The Rockets let a 15-point fourth-quarter lead slip away, shooting just 6 for 24 in the final frame. Despite the loss, Dillon Brooks had a strong showing with 22 points in his return from injury, and Houston's defense continued to shine, holding Miami to just 99 points before the late-game drama. Houston has been one of the league's better defensive teams this season, allowing the 3rd fewest points per game and holding opponents to under 35% shooting from beyond the arc. They are particularly effective in the first quarter, limiting opposing teams to the fewest points in the league during that stretch. If they can maintain their defensive discipline and avoid late-game collapses, they're in a great position to take this one. And today's AI pick is Houston Rockets 4.5. With a strong defensive presence, a fast start, and the Mavericks' depleted roster, Houston has the edge to secure a home victory tonight. Keep an eye on Dillon Brooks and Jalen Green to lead the charge offensively, assuming no suspensions arise from the last game's altercation. That's all for Game 4. Stick around as we wrap up with an exciting Game 5 matchup. Stay tuned.
Welcome back, everyone. For our final game tonight, we have the Atlanta Hawks visiting the Denver Nuggets in the Mile High City. The Hawks come into this game on a 4-game winning streak, with Trae Young leading the charge after a 34-point outing in their last game. However, Atlanta's defense remains a concern, ranking 26th in scoring defense and 29th in three-point defense. Meanwhile, the Nuggets have found their stride, winning 7 of their last 10. Nikola Jokic continues to dominate, fresh off a triple-double with 36 points, 22 rebounds, and 11 assists in their win over the Jazz. Denver's offensive efficiency and depth give them the edge at home. And today's AI pick is Denver Nuggets minus 5.5. Before we wrap, here's a quick recap of tonight's picks. Game 1, Chicago Bulls minus 4.5. Game 2, Detroit Pistons minus 1.5. Game 3, Utah Jazz plus 14.5. Game 4, Houston Rockets -4.5. Game 5, Denver Nuggets -5.5. That's all for tonight, folks. Thank you for tuning in. See you in the next video.